Preface of Sun and Saddle Leather. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Eileen Tipping. Sun and Saddle Leather by Badger Clark. Preface to the third edition. Cowboys are the sternest critics of those who would represent the West. No hypocrisy, no bluff, no pose can evade them. Yet cowboys have made Badger Clark's songs their own. So readily have they circulated that often the man who sings the song could not tell you where it started. Many of the poems have become folk songs of the West, we may say of America, for they speak of freedom and the open. Generous has been the praise given Sun and Saddle Leather, but perhaps no criticism has summed up the work so satisfactorily as the comment of the old cowman, who said, "You can break me if there's a dead poem in the book. I read the hull of it. Who in the H is this kid Clark anyway? I don't know how he knowed, but he knows." That is what proves Badger Clark the real poet. He knows. Beyond his wonderful presentation of the West is the quality of universal appeal that makes his work real art. He has tied the West to the universe. The old cowman is not the only one who has wondered who Badger Clark was. Charles Wharton Stork, speaking of Sun and Saddle Leather, said, "It has splendid flavor and fine artistic handling as well." I should like to know more of the author, whether he was a cowpuncher or merely got inside his psychology by imagination. Badger Clark was brought up in the West. As a boy, he lived in Deadwood, South Dakota. The town at that time was trying to live down the reputation for exuberant indecorum which she had acquired during the gold rush. But her 5 churches, operating 2 hours a week, could make little headway against the competition of 2 dance halls and 26 saloons running 24 hours a day. Perhaps it was these early impressions that make the piano at Red's in Mr. Clark's later volume, Grass-Grown Trails, so vivid. Scuffing feet and thud of fists, curses hot as fire. Still the music sang of love, longing, lost desire, dreams that never could have been, joys that couldn't stay, while the man upon the floor wiped the blood away. After Clark had grown up in the cow country near the Mexican border, he stumbled unexpectedly into paradise. He was given charge of a small ranch and the responsibility for a bunch of cattle just large enough to amuse him, but too small to demand a full day's work once a month. The sky was persistently blue, the sunlight was richly golden, the folds of the barren mountains and the wide reaches of the range were full of many lovely colors, and his nearest neighbor was 8 miles away. The cowmen who dropped in for a meal now and then in the course of their interminable riding appeared to have ridden directly out of the books of adventure, with old young faces full of sun-wrinkles, careless mouths full of bad grammar, strange oaths and stranger yarns, and hearts, for the most part, as open and shadowless as the country they daily ranged. In the evenings, as Clark placed his boot heels on the porch railing, smote the strings of his guitar, and broke the tense silence of the warm, dry twilight with song, he often wondered, as his eyes rested dreamily on the spiky yuccas that stood out sharp and black against the clear lemon color of the sunset west, why hermit life in the desert was traditionally a sad, penitential affair. In a letter to his mother a month or 2 after settling in Arizona, he found prose too weak to express his utter content, and perpetrated his first verses. She, with natural pride, sent the verses to a magazine.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?